Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage LifeVantage Chief Executive Officer, Darren Jensen.
I'm glad you came.
Wow, what a fantastic sight. You know, I want to officially welcome you to our Elite Academy, although it already feels like we're in the second day for some reason. So it's kind of odd giving a welcome, but officially welcome to our first general session. And I want to say that it's always a highlight for me to see so many of our LifeVantage family members in one place, especially here in the great city of Denver. Now, how many are local here from Colorado? Quite a few. You know, when I first joined the company, I was specifically told that we had some pretty amazing groups here in Colorado. And I can say that over the last 2 years, that the stories were probably an understatement. We've got great groups here. Okay. Another question, how many of you here, through applause, are here for the very first time? Okay. So for those of you that this is your first Elite Academy, let me let you in on something important. It's my privilege to give the welcome address during the first general session at each LifeVantage Academy. And during this address, I typically take the opportunity to announce and explain portions of our strategic plan, our focus, and where significant resources of the company are going to be directed in the immediate future. Just a few short months ago, at our global convention in Salt Lake City, I used this time to introduce to our LifeVantage family the focusing of our corporate mission, which is to biohack the aging code, and our vision of helping 1 million people live a life activated. And today, I want to take this time to talk with you about the next phase of our transformation. I want to talk to you about the future. First, we must come to the realization that the future is not some date that we don't know of. The future is now, okay? Euromonitor recently took a look at our industry, and they made a very important statement, which I think is very apt to where we're seeing our industry now, industry-wide. They said, blind adherence to the trends of the past, no matter how well-intentioned, can limit future development. So today I want to talk to you about the past versus the future, and about old versus new, about progressing versus regressing. Right now, we're at a crossroads. And that statement we just saw isn't just pertinent to our company right now. I feel that it's absolutely critical. So let me start with the old, and I'm talking old. Who's heard of the myth of Sisyphus? I would have chosen a myth that I had a hard time pronouncing. As a side note, story time here, when I was in grade school, I had to go to speech therapy to pronounce S's. And so Sisyphus is not the most easy thing for me to say. But Sisyphus was the classic absurd hero of Greek mythology. He's most famous for being forced to push a giant rock uphill, only to have it fall all the way back down under its own weight as he neared the top. He was cursed to repeat this over and over again throughout all eternity. Sounds miserable, right? Actually, for many of you, it may sound like your first job out of college. So, what often gets overlooked in the myth of Sisyphus, though, is why he was forced into an eternity of labor. In simple terms, Sisyphus was a bit of a know-it-all. While he was alive, Sisyphus displayed scorn for the gods, and he was essentially saying, you know what, guys? I can do better. I got this. And so began his punishment. And I feel like us in our industry, we're a lot like Sisyphus right now. We've got, at least in LifeVantage, we've got this giant rock of an opportunity and products, and we're trying to muscle it up a hill in the same way that we've done it for years, except we're hoping this time we'll experience new and exciting results. But here's the great part. Unlike Sisyphus, we're not pushing a rock, but we're sharing something that you and I and everyone else in this room believes in. But do you ever feel like Sisyphus? That you are pushing with all of your might, doing the things the way network marketing has always been done, and yet feeling like you aren't seeing the results that you deserve? Well, what if I were to tell you that pushing the rock isn't the only way? In fact, what if instead of pushing this rock, the rock pushed us? So if this rock could truly push us, what would that look like? Okay? What would it look like if the rock pushed us? Who's heard of Carter Wilkinson? Actually, I think it's Wilkerson. Now, unlike a myth like Sisyphus, he's not a myth, but he is a legend. And if you haven't heard of Carter Wilkerson, that's good, and that's kind of, it's kind of the point of the story. Carter is just a 17-year-old from Nevada who loved Wendy's chicken nuggets. And he loved them so much that he decided to tweet at the company a few months ago. And here's the tweet. He said, "Yo, Wendy's, how many retweets for a free year of chicken nuggets?" Now, typically in the past, you would never heard from a multi-billion-dollar company to a 17-year-old. But they responded, and Wendy's said 18 million. Okay? Now, 18 million tweets would have broken the Twitter record. I think the maximum was by Ellen when she was on stage at some award show and she took a selfie with a bunch of people. I think that only did 3 million. And it took like 18 months to do that. But with Carter's experience, what happened next was incredible. The tweet and the requests were so simple and entertaining that the internet completely ran with it. Hashtag Nuggets for Carter took over the Twitter sphere. Media outlets and blogs joined in, and after just 1 month, Carter's request had been retweeted 3.6 million times. Okay. His Twitter followers skyrocketed from just below 200 to over 124,000 in just a matter of days. Now, don't worry, I know what you're all wondering and all nervous about. Yes, Carter did get his year's worth of nuggets, only for 3.6 million tweets. So he was good. He got his year's worth. But let's take a moment and think about this for a second. A 17-year-old sitting at a computer in his room in Nevada reached millions and millions of people with just a few keystrokes. Now let me repeat that. With just a few keystrokes, he reached millions and millions of people. Carter didn't push this rock uphill. The rock pushed him. And I think it's a valuable lesson that we need to talk about. How are we letting this rock push us? There are a few steps to get that rock to push us. The first is we had to start with the essentials. We started with an effective, unique, patented, scientifically proven product that is generations ahead of its time and of the competition. You see, health products have evolved and will continue to evolve in generations. The first generation primarily addressed the problem of deficiency. For example, if you had scurvy due to the lack of vitamin C, that's what the first generation solved. The second generation of nutritional supplements primarily tackles prevention. How do we keep from getting illness, and should we take higher doses to optimize health? The third generation of nutritional substances, or third generation of nutritionals, tries to optimize diversity, meaning scientists began to tap into the benefits of potential and powerful superfoods. The fourth generation of product concentrates on targeted delivery with nanotechnology. So where does that leave us now? The most recent and newly emerging fifth generation of nutritional supplements truly begins to open up the possibility of biohacking the aging code through nutrigenomics. Okay? And it's not until you get to the fifth generation that you begin to focus on genomics. And here's why this is important. You have all of these other companies out there that are focusing on generations 1 through 3 because that's what's currently out there on the market. And that's what you're supposed to do, meaning that they're adhering to these blind traditions of the past. And as a matter of fact, as you go into stores, generations 1 through 3 of nutritional supplements are about the only supplements you can buy. So as you can see, this is truly the blind adherence we've been talking about earlier. We've said, as a company, we said, we know where the future is headed. We will not blindly adhere to the current trends. And as a matter of fact, we're going to preactively skip several generations of these earlier technologies and go right after genomics and biohacking the aging code, okay? So what does that mean for us? That means as a company, we are in completely uncharted territory. As a matter of fact, we face virtually no competition. And as a company, we're accelerating the pace of our innovation so that we're always generations ahead. And in addition to just coming out with these generation advancing technologies, we're also creating a life activated for everyone on the planet through our opportunity of network marketing. So this competitive advantage of merging nutrigenomics with the unmatched power of the economic engine of network marketing continues to transform LifeVantage's vision. And it is as if we were pushing a giant flywheel. If you don't know what a flywheel is, it's a heavy wheel that you've got to push hard to get it moving. And once you get it moving, though, it almost sustains itself in motion. And we're starting to feel the effects of this momentum. Momentum that started with a revolutionary product called ProTandem NRF2. That momentum that was continued when we expanded the technology into NRF1, True Science, Physique, Axio, and Pet Tandem. And as we open up new markets around the world, our momentum continues to increase and grow in velocity. Here's a simple truth. There's no such thing as staying in one place. We're either progressing or we're falling behind. And the world around us is moving whether or not we decide to move ourselves. So there is no middle ground. We either move with it and hopefully ahead of it, or we let it pass us by. So let's take a look at the world around us and observe how it is moving today. For instance, to say that the way that people communicate and interact today with information is different than what it was 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago would be an understatement. How many of you remember writing letters? I don't like paper, like Ryan Goodwin, I don't like it, and I have terrible handwriting, so I like to type. Or how many of you remember connecting to email with AOL? I mean, they made a movie about it. You've got mail. I'd get so tired of that today because I get about 1,000 emails a day. Or how many of you remember writing a text message with the number pad? It's like, man, that's insane to do. Or the first time you had email on a BlackBerry, or having to use Skype to make a video call instead of just FaceTiming. Things aren't just changing, they're transforming and doing so at an exponential pace. As a matter of fact, a few weeks ago, I had dinner with 2 CEOs of major network marketing companies located in Utah, as well as with the president of the Direct Selling Association. And I'm wondering if you can guess what the topic was. It was change. The DSA president made this statement to us. He posed a question. He said, at the rate of transformation that we're experiencing within our industry, is the name of our association, the Direct Selling Association, reflective of business today? He said, should we change it? Should we update it? And he gave us some examples of other organizations that had updated. And each of the CEOs began to weigh in on their thoughts. When it was my turn, I told him that I believed our industry has reached an inflection point. I further explained that I don't claim to know about what the long-term evolution of this industry is going to be. I mean, I'm not Nostradamus, right? I don't know where it's going. But if we do change the name, it must reflect where we're going to be, not now, but where we're going to be 5 or 10 years from now. And I told him that I believe that we're headed towards what I called social entrepreneurialism, which is an army of micro-influencers that drive brands. While I still don't know what the new industry name should be, and if any of you have any suggestions, feel free to send them to me, I do think that this is where it's headed. And a lot of this transformation revolves around new technology and all of you. Now, I'm going to be blunt or very straightforward for a few seconds, so I'll ask for your forgiveness in advance. If you don't understand technology, it isn't necessarily the company's responsibility to find a non-technological way for you to do something, okay? You are a social entrepreneur, and this is literally your business. Now, most importantly, this is the way that business is done today, and it's the way that business is going to be done in the future. Now, we will teach you, we will train you, and we will build the tools, and we will put them in your hands. But as a company, we're not going backwards. It's not in our DNA as a company, okay? And just like what we've done with the product line, how we've expanded and transformed and continued to roll out the technology, we're also upgrading the DNA of our company. As a matter of fact, the largest investment the company is making at this time is into new technology. And we're among the first pioneers that will be integrating artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies into our business, okay? Now, you've seen Ryan Goodwin up here on stage talking about all the nifty things that we're doing to remove out friction. I just want to say that these are not even phase 1 of our technology yet. These are the baby steps just to get us to phase 1, okay? And we're launching phase 1 of this incredible new technology at our next Elite Academy in in Orlando in November. So phase 1 is at the next Elite Academy. So get ready for a quantum shift at that time. Now, I want to make something clear. Technology is our friend. John Maxwell is our friend. I am Darren, and I am LifeVantage, and I am your friend, you know. But technology is our friend. We're not trying to add layers of complexity to your business. We're simplifying it and removing out friction. As a matter of fact, we have teams of people at the corporate headquarters that have now been established and are dedicated to removing friction. And part of that is focusing on the ordering processes to make it easy, to make it more simple, to make it more intuitive. And you're seeing some of this already in the efforts that Ryan's making and his team at making things simple. In a recent article in Fortune magazine, it discussed the secret behind the success of Amazon and how it has now become the fifth most valuable publicly traded company in the world, a company worth $395 billion US. The article reveals that Amazon's utter dominance of the e-commerce industry can be traced to almost one point. And this point is often ignored because it is so mundane. So here's the point. Amazon maintains an obsessive focus on removing every pain point from the buying process. To put it another way, Amazon is the world champion at taking out friction. This obsession may seem boring, but it is hugely valuable. The digital revolution is creating a radically more friction-free economy. We're advancing LifeVantage to keep pace with the new ways people are interacting, communicating, and engaging with each other and buying. We're focusing our efforts on reducing friction between corporate and the field and between you and your customers. So here's the thing. We can either transform or we can get left behind like the rest of the Walking Dead out there. The Walking Dead are the companies that I say don't transform at this important inflection point in the industry because they make a decision that will doom them in years to come. So I call them the Walking Dead. There is no middle ground. So let me talk to you about what we're currently doing to transform, and let me remind you, these are only the pre-phases to our phase 1 rollout in November. So the first thing, the brand new enrollment process that Ryan went through earlier at the technology seminar. We've created a new enrollment process. It's simpler, it's easier, it's built to help you enroll new distributors in a matter of seconds. You remember the days of filling out paper enrollments or sitting next to someone as they went through 20 steps to enroll, only to get frustrated when not finish at step 15 because they couldn't figure it out, okay? Those days are history. Now we can send you a text, and in 4 simple steps, you are a business owner. We've spoken about this on several occasions, and Ryan and his technology team have done an amazing job building it. Even though it's simple enough to grasp and at first glance, they're online ensuring even the tech-adverse people know how to use it. I think Ryan says that his goal is to make something so easy that his mother can do it. Okay? This is a part of a massive investment into machine learning and artificial intelligence. Like Uber, it's simple and straightforward, but we need to integrate it into our culture. And frankly, this is where it begins to concern me. How do we integrate this technology into our culture? This new enrollment process, for example, it's simpler, it's easier, yet few of you are using it. I believe Ryan said that 9 out of 10. I think it's actually 98 out of 100 are not using it. And this concerns me because as we begin to roll out new technology, especially in November when we hit phase 1 of our new technology rollout, I'm concerned that that technology will not be adopted. Number 2, the tech stack. And again, a wonderful set of tools that we've built and developed. They're designed to help you perform nearly every single business function right from your phone. I mean, I could literally post, share, sell, sign up people, and do my taxes while I'm sitting on the couch watching Star Trek. Okay? If you can get on a subscription in a matter of seconds, wouldn't you be using this? Number 3, social media. Now remember Carter, that 17-year-old boy with the chicken nuggets? Here's the simple truth. He shouldn't have anything on us. We're social entrepreneurs. We invented social marketing, okay? And so rather than me just stand up here and tell you, we can do it, a few months ago I decided to test the concept, okay? I started an entrepreneur page a few months ago, and I did it to demonstrate to anyone how anyone can reach large numbers of people on social media. In just a few months, my Facebook page has greater reach than LifeVantage's Facebook page and LifeVantage.com. Okay? Now, I am not special in any way, but I have almost 100,000 people per week on a reach just from my Facebook page, okay? I don't have anywhere to direct them, and they're mostly you and everyone, but you guys have a powerful tool that can be used, and I know that you can do this also. But how many of you are really using social media to build your business? I mean, really using it, and I see a few hands. Don't raise your hands because I'm afraid of what I might see. Very few of you, okay? And then the next question would be, and again, don't raise your hands, how many of you are not even on social media? I mean, that is almost like tantamount to saying, what's the internet? Or how do I use email? I mean, how can we keep pace with the speed of business and not be utilizing social media? Right now, there are over 1.94 billion active users on Facebook, and there are another billion on WhatsApp, and nearly 1 billion people on Twitter and Tumblr combined. So what we're saying is that you have access to nearly half of the population of the entire planet right at your fingertips. Sure, you can do the usual article sharing on social media, but capabilities have expanded to the point where you can run your entire business with features like Facebook Live. That's where you can showcase products and interact with friends and friends of friends and friends of friends of friends and complete strangers. It's a place where you can tell your stories. And as we're reminded today, we are master storytellers. There are plugins that let you personalize a message to whoever sees it on your page. You have the ability to not just become a product of the product, but to share those personal experiences with others. I was recently discussing an experience of a distributor that participated in our $25,000 physique weight loss challenge. They didn't win, but the images of their before and after combined with their simple, authentic testimony of the product has earned them far more than the $25,000 grand prize. They could not believe how fast their business took off from a selfie taken in a moment of authenticity. And here's the best part of all this, the inspiring part of all this. Sisyphus had a rock, Carter had nuggets, but we are biohacking the aging code, okay? We have the opportunity that's letting people form incredible businesses and live a life activated. People want better, healthier lives. We have what people want. It's just up to us to share it with them in a way that they can see it for what it is. If you want to reach millions of people, head to social media. If you want to make life easier on yourself and your distributors and your customers, get creative and utilize tools available to you. Here's what I want to stress. We're not just talking about tactics. We're trying to move an extremely large ship in a philosophical new direction. This big ship of LifeVantage, and you here, each and every one of you, you guys are the rudder to that ship, okay? We need your help to steer it. Thank you. Now, Rear Admiral Grace Hopper helped develop one of the earliest computers. She was one of the first people who developed computer programming languages. She once said, the most dangerous phrase in language is, "We've always done it this way." And I agree. We simply cannot afford to be doing things the way we have. If you're still conducting your business in the same way that was done in the 80s or in the 90s, you could be doing better. If you attended convention this year, you heard us talking at length about biohacking. We're doing something that no other direct selling company is. We're on the forefront of nutrigenomics and on the forefront of a cutting-edge business opportunity. And we're utilizing next generation technology to biohack our lives. This is not a soft trend, this is a hard trend. This is where the world is headed, and we're leading the charge. Because why follow when you can lead? I mean, look around. None of us here is a follower. If you were, you would be content to work in a cubicle and sit on a couch. but everyone in here felt the need to find a different way. Everyone in here is looking to make a difference in the world and help others live a life activated. Everyone in here thinks differently. You are leaders, you're not followers, and this is one of the many reasons why I love this LifeVantage family. Because deep down, we all know that at the rate the world is changing, it's not survival of the fittest, it's survival of the fastest. Okay? So here's the deal. You can be sure that at corporate we'll continue to provide you with the best tools possible. We will relentlessly pursue excellence in products, tools, and technology we provide to you so you can stay on the cutting edge. We will always be a partner you can count on. The other side is up to you. If our leadership in the field, if all of you here aren't moving with the times, if you're not finding new ways of doing things, if you're not constantly learning and reinventing yourselves as entrepreneurs, the rest of our company won't either, because your actions duplicate. If you're not using the tech stack, or if you don't know how to, we will walk you through it step by step until you feel secure. This tool is so amazing, it pays for itself after a single enrollment. And for those who are using it, we're hearing that it's increasing their enrollment significantly. We want all of you to enjoy that success. We are committed to your success, but you have to take the initiative. We can't force you. And because we don't have the time to come to each and every one of your homes individually, we're going to be doing a lot of our communication with you on Facebook, especially with Facebook Live. Head over, for all of you who have not connected with me, to my entrepreneur page and click the button that says follow, okay? Now, for those of you, I do have 3 Facebook pages. So there's 2 that are just regular Facebooks, but look down where it says pages and you'll see my entrepreneurial page. Please click on that and follow it. I'm constantly filling it with tips and strategies from some of our best leaders and new information about LifeVantage. And now I'll be doing 3 broadcasts a week. How many have seen the doctor's broadcasts? Okay. To give you an idea of the effect, and I want to thank Dr. Mark Gordon for this, that had a reach of nearly 70,000 people, okay? It had, I think it was 41,000 views, okay? So I have a doctor's presentation. I've also been interviewing leaders, but I'm also going to be adding movers and shakers. And these can be of any rank. I just want to know who's out moving and what they're doing. We start out with our first one tomorrow at 1 o'clock, so keep an eye out for it. Now, we also do Tech Tuesdays on Facebook, and Ryan Goodwin is always sharing some pretty incredible content on that page. So I can't reiterate this enough. We're a big company, and we can't always communicate with everyone individually, but with social media, we can all connect quickly. Blind adherence to the trends of the past, no matter how well-intentioned, can limit future development. We need to more fully adopt a growth mindset. We all need to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's how we're going to move forward and separate ourselves from the blind adherence to the trends of the past. Our goal is to move proactively forward, and we need your help because we are not going back. We aren't Sisyphus, we are LifeVantage. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy Elite Academy. Thank you.